everyone, it's Tanya with 𝐂𝐤𝐭𝐡 Company. I hope you're doing well today. Thanks for joining in. I've got some amazing things to show you today because guess what? It's new release day at 𝐂𝐤𝐭𝐡 Company. I'm so excited. I love new release day. And we have got a really fun release. We've got new funny bones. We've got some new characters. And wait until you see what your project is. You are absolutely going to fall for this. I love them so much. So let me get you turned around and we'll get started. This is always the part that worries me the most because I just never know if I'm going to... see, if I just hold my breath, it works every time if I just hold my breath. So, there's us. And like I said, it's new release day. Before I get into the new releases, I'm going to show you something. It might as well be part of the new release because it's coming out at the same time. But those of you that have ordered the Dress Up Riley before, if you don't know about 𝐂𝐤𝐭𝐡 Company, Riley is our moose. And he has his own accessory line, and it is called Dress Up Riley. So we use Riley as the base, and then we have a bunch of accessory sets that you can dress him up with. And you can do adorable little cards like this. So this was the spring set with all of his little clothing. And that's a little slicker that he has on. And we have about 28 of these sets. So if you've had these before, what you would have purchased would have been Riley in a red rubber stamp with a cling back. And now we have taken Riley and his friends that are in the dress up set so far, the cows and the foxes and the fox raccoon set. And we are bringing them out in clear for you now. And we are so happy about this. So the the dress up line for Riley is now 100% clear stamps and dies. We are very happy to bring that to you guys. Now, parts of our new release. So excited to show you guys. Most of you are quite aware that the Funny Bones is a huge part of 𝐂𝐤𝐭𝐡 Company. We are the original home of snark. We started years and years ago by a meme off of Facebook. We thought, wow, that'd be really fun stuff to put with Riley, and we did. And this release takes us to over 900 that we've came out with. So very happy about that. So if you ever want to go to our website and just have a giggle if you're having a rough day, head over to 𝐂𝐤𝐿yandCompanyOnline.com with your favorite beverage and sit and giggle for a while. It will definitely cheer you up. So I want to read off some of these. Just so you guys know, these videos are done a couple weeks in advance, and I am nowhere near prepared enough to have samples done of our new release by then. So I'm going to read you these, okay? I hope that's good enough. When you get to the website, by the time you watch this video, we'll have lots of samples on the website for you. Adulthood is straight up the worst hood I've ever lived in. Older, but wiser. This would be hilarious with a gecko chameleon. Is that what they're called? Remember? All right, I'm dating myself. If you remember the Budweiser chameleons, I think they're called chameleons. Some mornings, it's best to just fill the sink with coffee, stick your head in, and suck. That was yesterday. Spilling coffee is the adult equivalent to losing a balloon. This is absolutely my favorite. If it weren't for me, you might have been Mom's favorite. Mom, I hope you're listening. I know my brothers and sisters aren't, but they're each getting one of these. I'm pretty sure that my last words are going to be, are you freaking kidding me? The fact that jellyfish have survived 650 million years despite not having brains gives hope to so many people. And everybody sitting out there is going, oh my word, that is so true. This is true as well. Crafting makes everything better. For those of you out there that ride, I do not snore. I just dream that I'm a motorcycle. Yeah, raisin cookies that look a lot like chocolate chip cookies are the main reason I have trust issues. All right, Raise your hand or type yes in the comment section if you've ever bitten into a cookie that you thought was a chocolate chip cookie and it had raisins and you spit it out. Yes. E equals MC squared. Energy equals milk times coffee squared. True thing. And that's the only algebra I ever remember. Things I have in common with a raccoon. Dark circles around eyes, eats junk, kind of chubby, stays up all night, cute, but might bite. Okay, I hope y'all can see this. I am not going to read it out loud in case there are children in the room or grandchildren. I think it is hysterical. Probably in my top 3 faves this time. Celery is 95% water, 5% fiber, and 100% not a taco. We have Cinco de Mayo coming up. Wouldn't this be a fun card to send to a friend? Make a wish and then blow out that bonfire. ROFL. And I had this done the other day and somebody said, I don't get it. Oh, for crying out loud. It means rolling on the floor laughing. I'm going to set this aside because I've got something fun to show you. Remember when teachers used to say you won't have a calculator everywhere you go? Well, we showed them. Abracadabra. Nope, you're still old. I think this is great. If it were me, which it will be, I'm going to cut this in half, cut my stamp in half, put this on the outside and that on the inside. Fabulous birthday card sentiment. For today, drink your coffee, stay positive. Remember, stabbing people is wrong. Are you wearing pants? Roses are red, violets are blue. I want tacos and queso too. And finally, coffee, because sarcasm needs to stay hydrated. That's right. Now, I had a customer ask me or send in suggestions. We love suggestions. And if you send us a suggestion that we actually turn into a stamp, we will send you the stamp for free. And so they sent me a suggestion for Riley rolling on the ground laughing. Hang on. And guess what? We made him. Isn't he great? I just absolutely love this. This is the first time that I've ever seen Riley's mouth. Our designer that does these did this, and I'm like, oh my God, Riley has a mouth. I cannot even believe it. Riley has a mouth. Isn't that cute? But hey, why stop there? We need to make the raccoon doing that too. And I just popped this one up. These are my idea of samples 2 weeks ahead of time. I just popped that up with a foam dot. Oh, you can't see that one yet. So I'll show you this one. And we put the cow rolling on the floor laughing. ROFL. See, you could do that on the outside, this on the inside. And finally, I used one of those wiggle things into the people that manufacture those. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the name, but they're called wiggle things. You know, if I say get a wiggle thing, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Again, I'm not going to read it, but is that hilarious? I just used one of those little wiggly things. Absolutely love it. All right. And finally, for the new release, we have some new Mushroom Lane. And if you don't know Riley, another one of Riley's lines besides Riley and his buddies, and then Riley's dress up line and the Funny Bones line is our Mushroom Lane line. Now, Mushroom Lane is a little town where little gnomes and fairies live. And they have all kinds of buildings in Mushroom Lane. I think as of this release, we will have 28 individual little buildings. All right. So for example, I just brought some. These are not in the new release. These have already been released, but I'm just making you wait. So this is what they look like. They're good size. In comparison to a card, they're good size. Okay. And one of my favorite things that I love to do with these are layer them and make them 3D. 𝐂𝐨 𝐬𝐭𝐡 came up with that idea many, many years ago, and it was so beautiful that we've taken it a step further, and we have made dies for some of these. Not all of them have dies that match, but some of them have dies, and it helps you stack them up without having to fussy cut. And some of them do not yet, but we're working on it. These came out a long time before dies were a thing. So without further ado, I have 3 more designs to show you this time. This is our new clay pots. Can you guys see that? Can you see? I hope you can see the glitter and the crystal lacquer on the windows. And what I've done, this is our project for today. We're going to make this. I'm going to show you how incredibly easy it is to make something that looks like this. You're not even going to believe how easy it is. But that's one that we're going to make. And look, we even put one of our little 1-inch gnomes in the door. We're going to do that too. This is another clay pot. We only have 2 clay pots. And this is another one. Personally, I think it looks like a pub. I think it looks like a pub in Ireland. And that could be where they're brewing beer or something. Who knows? Anyway, that's another little clay pots. And finally, we have another little teapot. Isn't this precious? And again, I just put crystal lacquer on the little edges. It's got the little bell flowers and the little gnome going up the steps. And again, these do not have dies this time, guys. Sorry, but they will eventually. So what I did is, I'm going to give you the biggest hints on these. These are 3 different tall clay pots that I did. So here's this one. I stuck my little gnome back here this time. But here's this one. And they're all layered differently. And that is the genius of fussy cutting these out. For those of you that love to fussy cut, this is going to be your jam, okay? For those of you that don't, take it from somebody that doesn't. It's really not that hard. And you can do each one completely different, all right? Big, big hint here. For these, I spent a lot of time, probably an hour, coloring each one of these clay pots. Okay, it's going to take 4 or 5 layers, 4 or 5 of those colored images to make this. Use your color copier. Use your color copier. Work really hard on the first image, add your little white pens, everything in, then take it to your copy machine, put your cardstock in, and color it off. I use the best settings I can get on the copier that I have. I don't have anything, fancy. Just an HP, but that's what we get. So now we are going to move on to our projects, and I will show you just how easy this is. Let me set these out here so you can see them. I am going to be working on a white surface, and I hope that you guys can all see it. Need to make sure that I'm in the space that you can see. I'm going to move that over. All right, so what I have done is I colored my image. Now, you can stamp them once on cardstock and color them in and have that be it. And this would still make a gorgeous card. Isn't that beautiful? And then you can add your crystal lacquer or whatever. What I've done here is I've done the image, like I said, and then I just photocopied it. And I have apparently moved my scissors. I was going to give you a little tip. For those of you that don't do a lot of fussy cutting, I'm going to show you a really good tip. See, I still have stuff in here. Keep your scissors in one spot. Move your paper. See how I'm moving my paper, but my scissors never move? It's a lot easier to control that way than trying to move your scissors around everything. Super easy, and my scissors never moved. Okay. Then these are the different layers that I decided to cut out this time. So we're going to start with this guy. We're going to add this one on top. This will give you a little bit of a progression on how this works. So we have that one, and then that one. Then we have this guy. And then these are the little pieces. His front door. All the little windows, couple extra flowers. Okay, and this time I took it a step further and made a couple of the extra side flowers. Now, of course, in the, oh, here it is. I thought I lost a window. And I cut out my little gnome too, because I found doing this, that having the little gnome set, there's 3 different little gnomes in a little package that we have for sale, 3 stamps and 3 matching dies to go with them. So I have one of him colored up too. Now, I have found in doing this that the edges that you get, sometimes if you're like me and you don't fussy cut really, really tightly, you get the little white edges. I have a cure for that. Looky here. This is vintage photo in a sponge applicator, real lightly, and watch those little puppies disappear. Real quick, not a lot. In fact, you might not even be able to see it, but you can definitely tell a difference between the first one and the second one. And so I just take all my pieces after I've cut them out and just add some ink to it. Just around the edges. And we're just going to do that on all of our pieces real quick. I didn't know how much time I had, so I went ahead and put the foam tape on the back. And I just use inexpensive foam tape. You can use pop dots. You can use whatever you have handy. And the fun of these is trying to do something different each time. Now, if you're like me, you like the die avenue much better, but I have also found that this tends to be super fun. And it's very relaxing. I can just sit and watch TV and cut, and I don't miss out on a single thing. I had one more little flower here, and hopefully, oh, there it is. Okay, so now I'm done, and we're just going to start working on this one. So we're going to take the very bottom piece, and I have found it easier if you stand up and you work looking down. That way you can get them straight on top. Now with this particular one, the second one, you just peel your tape off. And I hope I don't forget to tell you about the show specials when we're done. Can somebody out there remind me? All right, so that one, he's a little off, and I don't like that. So if you just lay it down and you don't press too hard the first time around, you can reposition it. And once I get it, there we go. Got that laid down. Now you just go from the biggest to the smallest and just work your way forward. So the next one that I'm going to put on is this little piece. And while I'm doing this, I will tell you about the specials. We have a special purchase on all 3 of the new mushroom designs. They're normally $10.50 a piece, and you can get them, I believe, so it makes it $31.50. You can get them for $25. All right, so now we have this little guy, and we're going to put him on. And this other little window, we're going to put him on. So one of the specials is the mushroom release special. We always have a funny bone special for the new release. And that is all of this, whoopsie, all of the funny bones. You can be able to get all of them in one set at one time for 20% off. And of course, we always on our new release have a special where you get free shipping at $25. Now on this particular one, I'm going to take these and I'm going to bring them in down just a little tiny bit so that it looks like there's a whole bunch of flowers behind it, right? In this one, I'm going to do the same thing. So it looks like we've got tons of flowers around this house. And I don't use a ton of pop dots either. And that way the tops will flip out. Then I cut these a little shorter. The top one's a little shorter than I did the ones behind them to give it that 3D look. So it had an extra flower at the top. So what should I do with an extra flower? We're just going to pop it right on there. Isn't that adorable? Okay. Now, pop that right on there. And finally, we have the door on the first one. I cut the door, the first one that I showed you, I cut the door open and tucked in behind. But I think this time, since I'm running short on time, we're going to pop the door on, and then we are just going to attach him right at his front door. Now, the key to this always is stickles. Add glitter glue to the flowers. I love my stickles so much. I use them. You have to use them on Mushroom Lane because it's fairy houses and gnome houses, and everybody knows that they're all glittery, right? And of course, all the flowers sparkle. Okay, and we're going to make sure that we edge this. The great thing about stickles is it acts like glue as well. I'm just going to put a little bit there. Put him up there. And then if you want, you can definitely take your glossy accents or crystal lacquer or whatever. And if it comes out, we're good. And nope, it's stuck. So I just used it and forgot to put the lid on. So there you have it. That's our project for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, show specials and a new release. Thanks for joining me and have a wonderful weekend.